greatest car chase in motion picture history. Let's do it. Okay, everybody, if you've only heard of the French Connection, you are truly missing out on one of the great action police crime dramas of the 1970s. We're talking 1973's The 7-Ups. But before we go any further, before we dig into this little gem any farther, once and again, as always, to the trailer.
When organized crime becomes so clever that the police are forced to take desperate measures, it becomes hard to tell the cops from the killers.
Quick, Bobby! Bobby, get him!
Roy Scheider, in The French Connection, he helped to crack a $32 million dope ring. Now he's back, leading a new team of undercover super cops, even more ruthless than the mob they're gunning for. The 7-Ups. The dirty trick squad that even the regular police are afraid of.
Who shot the policeman in your car?
I'm hurt bad.
Who shot you, Carmine, huh?
They bust you. They break you. They make you beg for a nice, safe stretch in prison, 7 years and up.
Who were those guys that shot my partner in the back seat of the car?
The guy you iced was a cop.
Okay, so he was a cop.
Now, from the producer of Bullet and The French Connection, a high-speed ride with the strong arm of the law.
Their business. It's a matter of kill or be killed. And once the 7-Ups are on your tail, there's only one way to get them off. The producer of Bullet and The French Connection brings you the ultimate chase in the 7-Ups.
Okay, this motion picture was directed by Philip D. Antoni. Now, he was really a movie producer. He produced The French Connection. He produced this. He produced Bullet. But he directed only one motion picture in his life, and that is The 7-Ups. And that makes no sense to me whatsoever. I can't even understand it, to be brutally honest. That'd be like saying, you know what, I directed this little thing called The Deer Hunter, and then I just walked away. It didn't interest me. No, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But he produced some of the best car chase movies ever, and he directed this one. And that's why we're here. Okay, playing Buddy Mannuci, Roy Scheider. What more needs to be said, folks? The long list is coming at you. Here we go. We're talking about he was in stuff like All That Jazz, The French Connection, Blue Thunder, Clute, Still of the Night, and 52 Pickup, in the Russia House, in Naked Lunch, in 2010, in Night Game, in The Marathon Man, and of course, obviously, he's always going to be Chief Brody from Jaws. Just the way it is, just the way it goes, just the way it shall ever be. Okay, playing Vito was Tony Bianco. Popped up a lot back in the day around this time, especially in this kind of flicks. We're talking about he was in stuff like The Honeymoon Killers, The French Connection, The Pawn, The Juror, God Told Me To. Oh my God, you guys got to remember that. Fist, and Sworn to Justice, in Nixon, and City Heat, that misguided, Eastwood Reynolds flick, and beyond all that, he did a whole bunch of TV work. So Tony Bianco, all over the place, is what it was. Playing Moon, ho ho, my man. B-movie icon, legend, Richard Lynch. Oh yeah. Anyway, Richard Lynch was in some cool shit. We're talking about he was in stuff like Death Sport, and Steel, if anybody remembers that motion picture from way back in the day with Lee Majors, and Invasion USA, and the Sword and the Sorcerer, and Invasion Force, and Puppet Master 3, and Deathmatch, and The Mummy's Kiss, and Rob Zombie version of Halloween, and a bunch of TV work. So, anyway, he was around. He was in a million things. He's a B-movie legend. Distinctive look. Burnt himself really bad when he was younger. He's got a lot of scars. Anyway, fucking Richard Lynch is the man. Okay, playing Bo was Bill Hickman. Now, Bill Hickman popped up in motion pictures. You could see his face here and there, but that's not what he really was. That's what he wasn't really remembered for. He was really a stunt driver, a top-of-the-line stunt driver who popped up in so many movies, whether it was The French Connection, whether it was Bullet, whether it was Herbie the Love Bug. It didn't matter. He was even part of James Dean's racing team and shit way back in the day. This guy could drive a car, and because he could drive a car and you could see his face in the side scenes, they were like, give this stunt man some acting work. And that's just the way it went. Bill Hickman, legend. Fucking legend. Okay, playing Mingo. One of the 7-Ups was Jerry Leone. Now, he had only been in 4 things, this being one of them, and a Kojak episode, and a couple of other little things. So he really didn't have a career. Let's face reality. But he deserves to be mentioned because he was in this. He did great. It's just the way it is. I don't know whatever happened to him. I don't know why he was in more shit. Doesn't make any sense. It's what it is. Boop. Hey, what are you going to do? It's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, playing Toredano. Joe Spinell. Let's roll. He was in stuff like Maniac. He was in Taxi Driver, and Paradise Alley, and Star Crash, and Nighthawks, and The Pickup Artist, and Night Shift, and of fucking course, he will always be Gazzo from Rocky, and Rocky 2 as a matter of fact. Anyway, you'll know it, you love it, Joe Spinell. He looked like no other. As soon as you see him in a movie, you knew who the fuck he was. Awesome. Okay, playing Barilli was Victor Arnold. Was around, popped up in some shit. Let's talk about it. He was in stuff like And Justice for All. He was in Shaft. He was in Wolfen. He was in All the Right Moves. And he was on TV, you know, Cadmian, Lacey, and Trapper John, MD. Never really had a big career. Wasn't one of those guys you just look at and know. But he was on the scene, did his thing. Fuck it. Why not? Playing Ansel was Ken Kercheval. We just talked about him not too long ago. And you'll remember why in a second. Anyway, he was in stuff like Network, and Devil Dog Hound of Hell, and Fist, and The Lincoln Conspiracy, and tons of TV work. But most obviously, he's going to be known for his long-running role on Dallas. Just the way it is, just the way it goes. Let's keep moving. And lastly, playing Inspector Gilson was Rex Everhart. Big name? Not really. But you seen his face. He popped up in stuff like Superman, and Friday the 13th, the original one, and the Rosary Murders, and Family Business. Again, he wasn't a big star, but he popped up in a few things that you might remember. You seen his face around. Remember the truck driver in the beginning of Friday the 13th? That's where she just jumped right into your head. Anyway, let's get to the story and keep this puppy rolling. Okay, everybody, we're going to try to do this in 90 seconds or less so we can get to the summation, which is all where we want to be, and so we can keep this moving quick and keep it entertaining. So, here we go. Roy Scheider, Buddy Mannuci. He's the leader of the 7-Ups. The 7-Ups are like this underground, seldom talked about, not known in the media, separate little unit within the police force that all they care about is people facing 7 years and higher. They don't waste their time with petty crime. They don't worry about shoplifters or car thieves. They only want the heavy hitters, and they will do anything, no matter how close to bending the law it actually is, to achieve that goal. At the same time, there's something weird going on in the city. All the top mobsters are being kidnapped, one after the other after the other. $100,000 will get them back. $100,000 does get them back, but it raises a whole bunch of paranoia within the organized crime community. They're really on edge, especially because the guys running around snatching them off of the street pretend to be police officers when they do it. You can see the tension building. Buddy has a friend. His name's Vito. They grew up together. from the old school, man. They fucking used to swim in the river, know everything about each other. Buddy gets information about what's going on in organized crime world from Vito. They kind of trade things back and forth. Just the way it is, just the way it goes. Farther into the movie, the 7-Ups start learning that there's something wrong going on. They start seeing there's things that just aren't adding up. We got to start looking into stuff. So they stake out this funeral. And being that the mob is paranoid of the police, they find out one of the people staking out the funeral as a driver of a limo is a cop. They take him, they whoop his ass, they beat him down, they throw him in the trunk of a car. And I don't want to give away too much, but let's just say that police officer winds up in some serious bodily health. Now Buddy's pissed. He's out for vengeance. He's out for answers. And he is out to find out what the hell is going on. What's going on with the mob. What's going on with these weird disappearances of mobsters. What's taking place and how they all got there. And during that, he's going to find out the ultimate act of betrayal. The ultimate act of bonds being broken. The ultimate act of a friendship dying. I think that about covers it. Or at least it's all you need to know. Sure as hell all I'm going to give you. Let's get going. Okay, everybody. I'm going to put this as plain and simple as I can. The 7-Ups is one of the great crime dramas of the 1970s. Possibly of all time, really. But you know how I love the 1970s. They had that look. They had that feel. They had that vibe. You felt like it was real. You felt like it was really happening and you were just somebody watching the documentary. And this movie reeks of that. It's amazing that Philip D'Antoni only directed this motion picture in his whole career. Yeah, I know he produced a lot of shit, but whatever. He had a talent behind the camera, and you will see it in this motion picture, and it really shows. Another thing this movie really does that I just think is phenomenal is that it has the knack that it only puts music during the scenes when nothing's going on. If it's an action scene, a shootout, a car chase, no matter what, it's silent. You just hear gunfire, you just hear engines revving, you just hear that kind of shit, and that is fucking brilliant. Now, let's get to the elephant in the living room. What this motion picture is known for is one of the greatest car chases ever. And I mean fucking ever. If you watch this, this isn't the modern day bullshit, folks. This isn't a bunch of guys in some goddamn Fast and Furious flick with CG effects, driving little fucking zip cars with buzzy mufflers and all that kind of stupid shit. These are guys driving giant GM late 60s, early 70s machines and pushing cars like that well past the limits of any automobiles should have been pushed at that time. You'll watch these chases and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe they're doing this in these fucking jalopies. You'll see them taking corners and these cars are barely holding the road. I mean, they're fucking hopping as they go around because they're about to break loose. And by the way, when they filmed this thing too, because they had the actors really in so many scenes and they had Bill Hickman driving, you're like, oh my God, it never looks like, I never look at this and say there's a stuntman. You really think Scheider's doing the driving. You really think everything is happening as it's happening. So well done. So expertly put together. This isn't green screen, folks. This isn't digital fucking backgrounds out the window. This is the real shit when they got real driving. We're talking the days of fucking goddamn Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. We're talking the days of fucking Bullet. We're talking French Connection. We are talking great car chase scenes. And this is the king of them all. Of course you got the cast. Let's get real. It's fucking Roy Scheider, man. It's fucking Roy Scheider. He was everywhere in the 70s. Everywhere. Why? Because he always delivered. He kind of looked like the everyday man, and he always fucking delivered. And he delivers in this big and on point. Yeah, he wasn't surrounded by a massive level of star power around him in this motion picture. That doesn't mean anything, because everybody in the movie carries their weight and they nail it perfectly. And of course, I got to go back to my boy, Richard Lynch. B-movie extraordinaire, is what it is, and he delivers as a fucking psycho in this completely perfectly. There's scenes during the car chase where you can see he thinks they're just about to get caught and shit's going crazy and cars are slamming and all kinds of fucking wacky shit is taking place, and he's got this devilish little smile in his face, this devilish little grin, because this is fun for him. It's exciting no matter how fucked up it is. Think a little bit of Heath Ledger in Dark Knight. That's where we are with this. This motion picture delivers on every fucking level. Style, action, directing, acting, story, which is kind of a simple story, but it doesn't matter. It works, and they play it to the hilt. No matter what you do. I don't care if it's now. I don't care if it's later. I don't care if it's 10 years from now. Before you drop off this planet, you have to sit down. You have to throw in, stream, I don't give a shit where you get it, the 7-Ups. If you have seen some of the other greats, you have to see this, because you'll be surprised how high it ranks with them and or above them. Everybody, be good. Take care of each other. Look out for one another. Help out your fellow man. And above all fucking else, as we all know, don't ever take any bullshit from anybody. Be good, be safe, see you soon.